A very good morning to you all. Today, I will continue my previous lecture with a new topic. That the topic would be related to the renewable energy resources, as we have discussed the topic related to the same resources, that is renewable energy resources. In previous lecture, what we have discussed in previous lectures, we have established conversation for the geothermal energy. In the geothermal energy, I told you that how the geothermal energy is generated, and then where it is efficient and what is the cost effective regarding geothermal energy. And then we have discussed points related to the uses and as well as goals. How the geothermal energy is generated, already discussed you. And where is the geothermal energy actually found? Uh, these things have been explained in my previous lectures. Uh, in this map, the ring of fire is represented, and I hope that you can see here. And then the US and geothermal energy is explained with the help of various points. Here, near the Iceland, then here geothermal power plants are discussed, and here we have discussed various type of steam power plants such as dry steam plants, flash steam plants, and in these plants I told you that flash steam plants are most popular plants. Then binary cycle power plants were the third type third type of power plants which will be executed with the help of geothermal energy. Then the slides denoted the plants with the help of geothermal energy. Then the environment relationship with the geothermal plants, advantages, disadvantages are discussed in previous lectures. Now, now we will focus towards the ocean thermal energy. Okay. What is the ocean thermal energy? I think you are familiar with the ocean thermal energy. Initially, a question arises in our mind: how the ocean thermal energy is generated. First question is that how the ocean thermal energy is generated. Now, before we discuss these points, we have to know about its availability. That where is the ocean thermal energy is available. Then in this slide you can see the 4 points are over here, and the energy is available from the ocean by first point is tapping ocean current, second using the ocean as a heat engine, third tidal energy, and the fourth one is wave energy. Okay. Now, and this points is related to the energy from the ocean currents. What is the ocean currents? Basically, if you talk about the ocean currents, then this is very sure, this is very clear that we are talking about the stream, water stream, which uh, which will exist in the ocean. Okay. Further, the ocean currents flow at a steady velocity. Means the ocean currents having a property that the velocity does not change with respect to time. That's why such type of velocity is known as steady velocity, and at various points the ocean currents having the same velocity whatever the time is going on. Now, what is the second point for the ocean thermal energy? And the second point says the place that the interest to place turbines in these currents, suppose that अगर कोई टरबाइन को हम प्लेस करें ऐसे करंट से चलने के लिए, तो वो जस्ट विंड टरबाइन की तरह वर्क करेगी, ठीक है। सेकेंड पॉइंट, वाटर is more than 800 times denser than air. Why we are talking about the density for in relative terms for the water as well as air separately? Because the air having the density lesser in comparison to water. The water is more than 800 times denser than air. So for the same surface area, water moving 12 miles per hour exerts about the same amount of force as a constant 110 mph speed. What is the main thing is here? Actually, the main thing is here that because the air having the density lower comparatively water, so the same force is exerting, then the wind velocity would be 110 mph, while the water stream velocity would be 12 mph. Now, the next point is it is the expensive proposition, and the next point is for the energy from the ocean currents. It is upkeep could be expensive as well as complicated. If we talk about its financial point, then it is very expensive as well as very complicated. Ocean thermal energy system is a very expensive as well as it may be complicated. Now, if we talk about the environmental concerns, then the first environmental concerns for the ocean thermal energy conservation, species protection including fish, marine mammals from injury from turning turbine blades, because uh, the turbines executes within the ocean, and inside the ocean various type of living species exist, and that's why uh, when the blades will rotate, then any mammals like fish can be injured from this blade. So these things should be also in your in the mind that the protection for should be provided to these type of species. Environmental concerns, species protection, and then the next point says about the consideration of shipping routes and present recreational uses of location. And the other consideration include risks from slowing the current flow by extracting energy. If we extract energy, then the ocean currents having the lesser velocity. Okay, ocean currents having the lesser velocity because some amount of energy is extracted during that process. Now, this slide shows for to establish a knowledge for the ocean as a heat engine. What is the heat engine? This is very clear to you all. And what is the definition of heat engine? Uh, Before the heat engine, you know the what is the main function of engine? Engine converts the chemical energy of fuel into the mechanical energy. Okay. And when in the mechanical energy would be in the form of output with the help of heat energy, then that the engine is known as heat engine. And if the heat engine would be executed with the help of ocean thermal energy, then the whole the ocean current can be considered as a heat engine. If we talk about the ocean as a heat engine points, then there may have some points. In those points, first point is there can be a 20-degree difference in between ocean surface temperatures and the temperature at 1000 meter. if we talk about the ocean surface and also we talk about the 1000 a point below the 1000 meter depth, then the what is the temperature difference between that point on the surface and below the 1000 meter depth? The temperature difference would be 20 degrees, 20 degree only. Okay? Now the second point, the surface acts as a heat source. The deeper cold water acts as heat sink. This is a very clear. I think you are getting what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that ओशियन सरफेस का टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा है और नीचे जाओगे 1000 मीटर नीचे तो क्या होगा, टेम्परेचर कम होगा, हाइयर टेम्परेचर लोअर टेम्परेचर, हाइयर टेम्परेचर वाला सिंक हो जाएगा, लोअर टेम्परेचर वाला हाइयर टेम्परेचर वाला सोर्स हो जाएगा एंड लोअर टेम्परेचर वाला सिंक हो जाएगा. ठीक है. I think we should proceed further for the next point regarding the ocean and the heat engine. So the third point says the temperature differences are very steady. Means the temperature differences are very steady. It means it is independent with respect to time. And here the fourth point says about the locations regarding the ocean and the heat engine. If we talk about the Florida, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and other Pacific islands are well suited to take advantage of this area. It means only there are some specific area where the ocean and the heat engine can play a role to take the advantage of ocean thermal energy generation. ओके. तो कुछ एरिया है जहाँ पे इसका एडवांटेज लिया जा सकता है. ठीक है. एंड दिस होल कन्वर्सेशन विल कम अंडर द कैटेगरी ऑफ ओशियन थर्मल एनर्जी कन्वर्सन. ओके. If you convert the ocean thermal energy into the useful power or mechanical energy, then those type of conversion will be known as ocean thermal energy conversion. Now, in this slide, you can see we will talk about the types of ocean heat engines. If we talk about the ocean heat engines, how many types of ocean heat engines? Okay. And this session is totally related to the types of ocean thermal engines, and there we have some heat engines which will be executed with the help of ocean thermal energy. First is the ocean heat engine is a closed cycle system. Second is the heat from warm sea water causes a fluid like ammonia to be evaporated in a evaporator. Now here you can see a diagram. Here a pipe is colored with the red color. It means here we are talking about the warm sea water. It means red color having the temperature higher, while here another color pipe is allocated over here where the sea water having the lesser temperature in comparison to the warm water. Warm sea water as well as cold sea water differentiates with some non-zero temperatures. Now here the heat exchanger where the fluid like ammonia would be evaporated. Then from this pipe the working fluid in the form of steam will go inside the turbine, and then the turbine shaft would be connected further to the generator, and then the waste steam would go in another type of heat exchanger that is known as a condenser. It condenses as well as lowerize the temperature of working fluid, and then it may also proceed forward for the other uses, and here the fluids will be discharged. Now, how the working takes place for the ocean heat engine, this is very clear to you all. This is a closed system with a here the heat exchanger in the form of evaporator is allocated over here, while the generator is placed over here, and the heat exchanger in the form of condenser is placed, and then the further the next to the heat exchanger in the form of condenser is the feed pump is allocated over here. Now it makes a closed loop, so this ocean heat engine will come under the category of closed cycle system. Now, the second point says the heat from the warm seawater will be used by the heat exchanger to evaporate the fluid like ammonia, and this evaporated ammonia will go upward in upward direction. Here you can see the third point. The expanding vapor rotates a turbine connected to an electric generator. Means here the vapor is formed with the help of evaporator because the ammonia is evaporated in this section, and then what happens? This vapor would this vapor further will go to the blades of turbine, and when the vapor strikes on the blades of turbine, then what happens? The shaft will start to rotate, and this shaft is also connected to the generator. That's why the shaft power as well as mechanical power would be converted in the electricity, because the generator converts the mechanical power into the electricity. Now, some amount of heat energy would be converted into the electricity, while the some amount of steam energy would go outside, and this would be entered in another heat exchanger, and this heat exchanger condenses or lowers the temperature of working fluid, and would be that vapor would be converted into the liquid, and then this liquid would be pumped with this with this pump with this device, and further the feeded liquid will go inside the heat exchanger, and then this in this heat exchanger what happens, then those would be evaporated again, and then the process will be repeat, and the electricity generated once again, and in this way the cyclic process takes place. Okay, now here in these slides another type of OTEC is ocean thermal energy convergence, the heat engine. Here we will talk about the open cycle system. Here you can see the evaporator is over here, cold seawater, vacuum pump, warm seawater, fresh water output, condenser, mid discharge. Evaporator, turbine, condenser, I think you can see it's all about the open cycle system. Here in the form of working fluid, what is here? The working fluid is seawater, and here the red color zone you can see. This represents the warm seawater. The warm seawater is brought into a partial vacuum. It means warm seawater would be sucked with the help of partial vacuum here. In the vacuum, the warm seawater boils with the help of pressure less than atmospheric pressure. The vacuum pump, what happens? The warm seawater would be boiled, and after the boiling, it generates the steam, and this steam would rotate the turbine's blades, and further the turbine's shaft will be rotated, and that's why the shaft is coupled to the generator, and further the electricity is generated. Now the further some amount of steam would be entered inside the condenser. It condenses the steam, uh, and then it converts that fluid into the liquid. And then what happens? It condenses back into the liquid and is discharged to the ocean. यहाँ पे क्या होगा? डिस्चार्ज हो जाएगा. यहाँ पे कोई क्लोज साइकिल नहीं बना, ये फिर से रिसाइकिल होगा. ठीक है. Now here we will talk about the boiling water in the vacuum. Now here we can see the boiling point of any liquid depends upon temperature as well as pressure. If we talk about the boiling water in vacuum, then we know very well the boiling point of any liquid depends upon the temperature as well as pressure. The boiling occurs when the molecules in the liquid have enough energy to break free from surrounding molecules. ठीक. बॉइलिंग जब होता है तो क्या होता है? मॉलिक्यूल जो है लिक्विड में उनके पास सफिशिएंट एनर्जी होती है सरफेस पे जो अवेलेबल मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं उनको ब्रेक करने के लिए. ठीक. अगर आप रिड्यूस करते हैं प्रेशर को, इफ़ यू रिड्यूस द प्रेशर देन व्हाट हैपन? द टेम्परेचर डिग्रेड्स. You reduce the amount of energy needed. It means you are trying to reduce the amount of energy when you are decreasing the pressure. Then what happens? The amount of energy needed for the molecules to break free. It means you are reducing that energy. With the help of that energy would be helpful to break the surface molecule. Here creating a vacuum reduces the air pressure on the molecules and lowers the boiling point. If we talk about some specifications regarding the ocean thermal energy conversions, now the Carnot efficiency is low, only about 7%, and the net efficiency even lower, only about 2.5%, and the ocean thermal energy efficiencies require large water volumes to produce appreciable amount of electricity. ठीक है. OTC low efficiency requires large water volumes. इसका मतलब efficiency low है तब भी पे large water volume चाहिए एक appreciable amount को generate करने के लिए. It means it may be disadvantage. Now here the points is subjected for a numerical value of the or output generation. If the power is 100 megawatt, then you would need 25 into 10 to power 6 liter per second of warm as well as cold water. ठीक. 100 मेगावाट पावर जनरेशन के लिए आपको नीड कितने की पड़ेगी? 25 25 इंटू 10 टू पावर 6 लीटर पर सेकेंड ऑफ वार्म वाटर एज वेल एज कोल्ड वाटर. केवल 100 मेगावाट पावर जनरेशन के लिए आपको इतने ज़्यादा वाटर के वार्म वाटर और कोल्ड वाटर के डिस्चार्ज की जरूरत पड़ेगी. 25 इंटू 10 टू पावर 6 लीटर पर सेकेंड, बहुत ज़्यादा. ठीक है. इसके बाद अगर 40 मेगावाट प्लांट आपको स्टेब्लिश करना है, इसके लिए 10 मीटर वाइड इनटेक पाइप की जरूरत पड़ेगी, और दिस इज द साइज ऑफ ट्रैफिक टनल. If you talk about the history of ocean thermal energy conversions, then it is firstly proposed in 1881 by Jacques D. Arsenois, and it is completed by his student. Then Claude built and tested the first OTC system, and it did not much further interest until the energy crisis of the 1970s. One was built in UAE, and they are having some main motive that to generate the power. The UAE power generation is over here because the sea place is allocated, so this area is very suitable for the ocean thermal energy conversion. And if any queries is arising in your examination, then about the place where the ocean thermal energy conversion takes place, then you can say Kuwait is one. Now, other uses for the ocean thermal power plants, if you talk about the other uses for the ocean thermal power plants, then it generates hydrogen for use as a clean fuel source. Second, it generates fertilizer from biological nutrients that are drawn up from the ocean floor in the cold water intake. ठीक, पहला हम यूज अगर बताएं ओशन थर्मल एनर्जी कन्वर्जन का, तो ये जनरेट करता है हाइड्रोजन, किसके यूज़ के लिए, एक क्लीन फ्यूल सोर्स के लिए। ठीक, इसका हम यूज़ कर सकते हैं हाइड्रोजन जनरेट करने के लिए, और हाइड्रोजन का यूज़ कर सकते हैं एक क्लीन फ्यूल सोर्स के फॉर्म में। ठीक, ये फर्टिलाइजर जनरेट करता है, कैसे, बायोलॉजिकल न्यूट्रिएंट से, वो ओशन फ्लोर जो कोल्ड इनटेक वाटर में होता है। थर्ड, source of the ocean water to be used as drinking water via desalination, taking out the salt. If we talk about the next energy, that is tidal energy. Now, what is the tidal energy? Actually, here we will discuss some points related to the tidal energy. Most of the energy sources we have been discussing derive their energy from the sun originally. ठीक, यहाँ पे जो जितने भी एनर्जी सोर्सेज को अगर हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, वो सारे के सारे कहाँ से ओरिजिनेटेड है, सन से। ठीक, एंड टाइड्स की बात करें तो टाइड्स विद द हेल्प ऑफ ग्रेविटी ड्राइव होती है। ठीक, और ग्रेविटी क्या होता है, ग्रेविटी इज अ प्रोसेस इन विच the any objects attract toward the earth with the help of gravitational force. It means the acceleration due to gravity toward the earth acted, and that's why some of any objects would be attracted by the earth, and that process known as gravity. If we talk about what is the gravity, actually gravity can be defined as a force that exists in between the two objects based upon their mass and the distance between them. ठीक, अगर हम बात करें ग्रेविटी क्या है, तो ग्रेविटी एक फोर्स है जो कि एग्जिस्ट करता है दो ऑब्जेक्ट के बीच में। ठीक, अगर दो ऑब्जेक्ट के मास m1 m2 है, तो वो जो फोर्स है वो उस m1 m2 मास के प्रोडक्ट के बराबर होगा, और उस ऑब्जेक्ट के बीच की डिस्टेंस अगर स्मॉल आर है तो उसके स्क्वायर के इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल होगा। ठीक, अगर हम फार्मूला की बात करें, ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स की बात करें, तो जो ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स का फार्मूला होता है वो क्या होता है, कैपिटल जी इंटू स्मॉल एम इंटू कैपिटल एम अपॉन आर स्क्वायर, वेयर कैपिटल एम एंड स्मॉल एम आर द मासेज ऑफ द टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स। आर क्या है, आर इज द डिस्टेंस इन बिटवीन द टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स। कैपिटल जी क्या है, कैपिटल जी ग्रेविटेशनल कांस्टेंट है। ठीक, इसकी वैल्यू कितनी होती है, न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू 6.67 इंटू 10⁻11 मीटर क्यूब किलोग्राम पर किलोग्राम सेकेंड स्क्वायर। So the next slide is related to the definition of tides. So the moon and earth exert a force of gravity on each other. ठीक, ये चीज़ एकदम क्लियर है कि जो मून है और अर्थ है, ये एक फोर्स ऑफ ग्रेविटी एक दूसरे पे लगाते हैं। ठीक, तो मोशन ऑफ मून अराउंड द अर्थ counteracts the earth's pull, so the moon does not fall into the earth. The moon's pull on the earth causes any material that can flow on the earth's surface, like large bodies of water, to fill up underneath the moons. I think some remaining topic I will cover in my next lecture. That the topic would be related to the tidal energy, and I think this lecture would be very beneficial for you. The rest contents related to the tidal waves energy as well as hydropower energy in my upcoming lectures. So thanks to all.